it's like when you did that compilation, you know, it's like you see enough videos in a row of the same thing happening, and then when people come and talk to you and they're like, oh, well, I'll just do this or that, and you start explaining to them, you know, about getting on your heels and always insulting in, you know what I mean, stuff like that. They, you know what I mean, the male ego, they don't compute, you know, until you watch video of the same thing, then it's kind of like,
okay. Well, the thing is we've talked about it before, and even other guys on Patreon, you know, other tier 3 guys who have seen more of the in-depth level, like I can post a video up there and I don't even need to like go through and redline it and critique it anymore, because most of these guys, they've seen me go through and say, this guy's dropping back on his heels, this guy's head is now going behind his butt. Yeah. A lot of these guys have sat there and they pointed things out, like even when I haven't gone through and focused the video on something or like redlined it and shown you here's a problem, a lot of those other guys come back now and they're starting to say, yeah, he was dropping back, his hips went back, his head was back, his chin was up, you know, that back leg didn't brace. Like they're starting to be able to see it now on their own.
Right,
you know,
which
it's not really that difficult. It's not like I'm pulling out some injury or something like that. This is all, and I hate to keep kind of going back to this, but this is really all basic BJJ. It's basic stand-up work in BJJ, because these are all the principles that we exploit when I'm ready to throw you. I'm looking to get your balance off. So the difference as to whether or not I throw you back this way is got to do with where your hips are and where your head's at. So as we're sitting here working, as we're sitting in here and we're working like this and his hips are forward, so where's my throw going to go? It's going to go back this way, right? It wouldn't make any sense for me to push against gravity unless I pulled this way and then he brought that leg forward and braced, and now his hips are back. You understand? Now his center of gravity is back from the foot. So that might be an option. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So the same thing that boxers do. When you're sitting here, boxers and kickboxers, and you're sitting here and you're squaring up to a guy, and I throw that jab a couple times, and I see you starting to get lazy with your block or with your parry or anything like that. I see you starting to get lazy, and instead all you're doing is dropping back like this. Just dropping back out of range. Well, guess what? On that next one, when I throw that jab, boom, I'm coming in. Why? Because your head went back behind your feet, which means you can't sprawl. So if we're doing this like NHB, and I'm sitting here and you're covering up like this, well now posture is forward. You're in a position where you can sprawl. But as soon as you start to get lazy 2-3 minutes into the fight and you're just doing this, boom, I got you. Because you can't sprawl from here.
Gotcha.
So you're reading things that guys are doing, and this really is basic martial arts principles that when you go through, when you look at things that are taking place in a gunfight, all you're doing is looking at stuff that we do all the time. And then we're looking at those, and then we're applying it, and then we bring it into a force-on-force environment, and we're like, all right, well, let's hash it out. And you're like, holy shit, yeah, I mean, that really is, like, you can't take me down, you can't get my gun, you can't take my back. You know, all of these things, you start to realize that whether or not I got a gun in my hand or whether or not my hands are just up in a boxing stance really makes no difference when we're talking about posture and balance and stuff like that. You still have to have all that stuff. You know, regardless of whether I'm here or whether I'm here. It just doesn't make any difference.
Gotcha.
So, it's really not. It's partly martial artists' fault, because a lot of these guys come up with this stupid wazoo shit, and as a result, people throw the baby out with the bathwater. They're like, oh, martial arts is bullshit and stuff like that. It's not relevant and all this, because people do stupid stuff that doesn't make any sense and stuff like that. But there is still good relevant stuff in there that needs to be applied. So you can't just throw out basic stuff just because there are some bad people out there. And that would be like not going to the doctor because there's bad doctors out there.
Right.
You just need to be cautious about where you go.
Gotcha.